mails, recordings, just share it to me and make me the owner so that I can put that in the Google Classroom for your reference. Yeah, I will just message who is having the respective recordings. Okay? Later, I'll just message. Okay. So, good morning, one and all. Moving on to the um, introduction, module 1 introduction chapter. So, as in a recap, I had told you the general plan with respect to the analysis of recursive algorithms, which again consists of 5 steps, wherein the last 2 steps is only which differs, okay, with respect to non-recursive. Today's class will be dealing with the second example. Earlier, I had dealt with the factorial of a number. So we had seen how exactly solve. Then the agenda of today's class will be with respect to the general plan of again analysis of recursive algorithms, followed with that the example 2, that is Tavera-Hanoi problem, and the assignment which I had shown you earlier, right? Let us now see the general plan as a recap. So you know that the first step is to decide the input size of the algorithm. Second one is identifying the algorithm's basic operation. Third one is checking whether the algorithm's basic operation it executes, the number of times it executes. It depends only on the input size or on the type of input we give. If it is on the type of input, I have to investigate 3 cases: worst, average, and best. All right. So, can anybody recall what was the fourth step for recursive algorithm? Can anybody speak out? What was the fourth step? Setting up what? Setup of what for recursive?
Recurrence relation.
Relation with appropriate. With appropriate. I need, when I set up recurrence relation, I need something. What do I need?
Initial condition.
Initial condition, yes. So I should set up a recurrence relation with an appropriate initial condition. Otherwise, you cannot solve recurrence relation. Remember, okay. For C of n, what is that C of n? Reflecting the number of times the basic operation of the algorithm is executed. Last step. How do we? What is the last step? Can anybody recall? What is the last step? What is the last step? Students, after setting the recurrence relation, what is the last step? What is the last step, students?
Solving recurrence relation using a backward substitution method.
Yes. Solving the recurrence relation using backward substitution method. And after solving, what should I do? Express in terms of
Orders of growth.
orders of growth. Very good. Solve using the recurrence relation using backward substitution method and express C of n, that is the number of times the basic operation being executed using orders of growth. Right? So remember, students, solving recurrence relation using backward substitution method is one of the method. There is another method also. So that we will see in module 2. This is the way usually they solve, but there's one easier method also to solve. We'll see that in module 2. Don't worry about that now. Okay, the second example which we will be dealing today is Tavera-Hanoi problem. Okay, can anybody brief out what is this problem? What is the problem statement? Students, what is a problem statement? Any idea? Can anybody tell me what is the problem statement of Tavera Fanoi? Students? Tell me what is Tavera Fanoi problem? In brief. Can you tell me, someone can tell me in brief the problem? What is it? Nobody wants to speak? Shall I call out the names or will you speak? Okay. Tell me what is Tavera Fanoi problem? Someone who's there in the group? Okay. Partha Sarthi is there for me? Here? Partha Sarthi is there in the meeting? No? Preeti? No. Prithvi Darshan? Prithvi Darshan? Shreya? Shreya is there for me? Nobody are there in the meeting. Suraj? Okay. Girish? Nobody are there. Yes. Tell me what is Tavera Fanoi problem? What you know? Last.
It's a game.
Yes, tell me.
It's a game, ma'am.
What is that game all about?
Ma'am, there will be 3 pegs
Yes, continue.
and number of disks. We have to change the disk from source peg to destination peg by using a
Okay. Thank you, Girish. To some extent, you have given the answer. Someone who wants to add to it? Anything that you want to add? I think I have got a message by Prithvi that she's moving an object with certain condition between n places. Okay. And anything that you would like to add upon?
Ma'am, only 3 pegs should be used and one disk should be moved at a time.
Okay. 3 picks are there. One is source, destination, and auxiliary. And I can move only one disk at a time. Okay. Can I?
Ma'am, and
Yes.
we shouldn't place a larger disk on a smaller disk.
Smaller disk. Yes. So these are all the conditions that is there with the problem. Okay. So let me give me the statement now. So in this game or a puzzle, we have n disk of different sizes. Okay. That can slide into any of 3 pegs. Okay. So what is that the game tells about is initially all the disks will be placed on the first peg. I have given the first peg, meaning that it is a source peg here. In order of size, what is that order of size? Largest will be on the bottom, the smallest will be on the top. So it is in the order, okay? In the descending order of its size, I can tell, right? The largest at the bottom and the smallest on the top. The goal is to now move all the disks to the third peg. Which is my third peg here? What is my third peg as per your convention?
Destination peg.
Destination, using the second one as an auxiliary, like a temporary. If necessary, I tell, but I have to use. And the other condition which tells us we can move only one disk at a time, and it is forbidden to place a large disk on top of the smaller one. So I cannot place a large on the smaller one. And I think you can see this is one of the game being given in your, you can have the game there, or when you go for any what is that, activities also, you have such kind of a game being given to you all. Okay, so I have just the picture given here. You can see there are only 3 pegs, that's all the disks are on the source peg. So you can just see largest to the smallest. So numbering is also done in the same way, 3, 2, 1. My solution to this problem is I should move from source to the destination in the same order, placing in the same order. Wherein I am moving only one disk at a time, that's one condition, and I cannot place largest onto the smallest. Right. So as you all know, okay, the problem basically here cannot be that good solved using the concept of what do you tell, iterative. So the best way to solve this problem here, to use the concept of recursion. That's only the best way where we can solve this problem. Okay, I think in the last class also we had dealt. The problem has a very good recursive solution. Okay, can anybody guess what is that recursive solution for this problem? Any idea? How do you move the disk from peg 1 to peg 3 with peg 2 as auxiliary when n is greater than 1? Okay, if n is equal to 1, what do I do, students? If n is 1, number of disk is 1, what do I do? Directly move from
First peg to third peg.
third peg, or that source to destination, anything you can use. No restriction that you should use peg 1, peg 3, you can use source and destination, no problem. Okay, if it is greater than 1, what is that solution we get? What is that solution we get? What should I do in step 1? Students, any idea you remember? I would have told you, move how many disks from peg
N
1?
minus 1.
Yes, move n minus 1 disk, right? That is topmost disk. Leaving out the last one, I should move n minus 1 disk from which peg to which peg? From which peg to which peg, students?
Ma'am, source to auxiliary.
Source to auxiliary. So I have taken peg 1 to peg 2 with peg 3 acting as auxiliary. This is my step 1, wherein I am moving it recursively. My job is done recursively, but I have to move. That's a different issue. But solution algorithm write-up will be becoming very easier for you. That's the only thing, right? So I have to move all the topmost n minus 1 disks from peg 1 to peg 2. Okay, taking peg 3 as auxiliary. Okay, what's the next step? What's the next step, students? Quickly. What is the next step? Step 2. What is there on my peg 1? What is left on my peg 1?
Nth disk.
Move nth
Nth
disk
disk.
from source to destination.
Source to destination. So step 2 is move the largest disk, that is my nth disk, directly one move, that's all, from peg 1 to peg 3. So peg 1 is source, peg 3 is my destination. Okay. What is step 3? Move what? What is step 3, students? What is now largest disk is on the destination. What should I do next? Where are all the remaining disks?
Ma'am, move n minus 1 disks from peg 2 to peg 3 using peg 1.
Peg 1 and recursively, that's very important. Then finally move recursively. You should write this keyword, yeah. Recursively n minus 1 disk from peg 2 to peg 3 using peg 1 as auxiliary. Okay. Recursively, when I tell you're calling the function again and again, okay, that's what it means. You're calling the function again, the same function with n minus 1 disk. Okay. And you can see if n equals to 1, obviously, we simply make one move, okay, for the single disk directly from source 1 to the destination. Okay. This is the recursive method where it will follow. Okay. Just look at this example. Just Tell me, what is step 1, this move, this indicating? This is indicating what, ma? Which step it is indicating? Which step is this indicating? 1, 2, 3.
One, ma'am.
Step 1.
Step one.
You are trying to move recursively n minus 1 disk, that is topmost disk, from source to auxiliary using destination. You can now just see here, you have moved 1 to C, then I'll move 2 to B, then back 1 to B, right? And you can observe how many moves we did here. How many moves? For the first step, how many moves we did, students? For the first step, how many movement of disks are made? Speak out.
3, ma'am.
3. Okay. 3 moves are made. Plus. Okay. What is this fourth one indicating? Which step?
Step 2, ma'am.
Step 2. Moving the largest disk, that's the nth disk, from source to destination directly. So how many moves I made in my step 2? How many moves? Movement of disk? How many? How many
One.
moves? 1. How about this 5, 6, and 7 doing for me? 5, 6, and 7. Which step? Which step, ma? Which step? 5, 6, and 7 is doing which steps for me? Students?
Step 3, ma'am.
3. Moving what disks? N minus 1 disk, which is present on my auxiliary, to the destination using source as the what is that? Auxiliary peg. Isn't it so? So which is on B, it will be moved to C using A. So again, how many moves I do make it here? How many moves? How many moves, students? How many moves are done here? In the third step, how many movement of disk? You can see 1 is moved here, then again 2 is moved here, the arrow marks. Again 1 is moved back to the destination. How many movement of disk are made?
3, ma'am.
3. So totally, if I have to work on 3 disk, my Tower of Hanoi problem, if I have to solve, how many disk movements I make? How many times the disk are moved from various position to reach destination? How many moves?
7, ma'am.
7 moves. Okay. So just remember this so that we can analyze at the end. Okay. For 3, it is 7 moves we made. Okay. Now moving on to the algorithm. So I have just written taking 4 parameters. Okay. Quickly tell me the purpose of algorithm. 4 parameters we have: n number of disks, source peg, auxiliary peg, destination peg. What is the purpose of the algorithm? Quickly tell. Purpose. What is the purpose of the algorithm?
To move n disks from first peg to the last peg.
Yes, to move the end disk from source peg to the destination peg recursively. Remember, this should write the keyword recursively. To move end disk from source peg to the destination peg. Okay, what is the input now? What are the inputs to my algorithm? Students, what is the input? What is the initial condition for this algorithm?
N, ma'am.
Okay, so the initial condition, the input I can tell us, n disks are placed on source peg in the order of size. That is, the largest on the bottom and the smallest on the top. Okay. What is the output? Once the algorithm ends, what is the status? What is the status? Once the algorithm ends, what is the status, students? Once the algorithm ends, what is the status? You can see the status here. This is your
Now n disks on destination peg in order of size.
Right. Again, index will be on the destination peg in order of size. That is the largest on the bottom and the smallest on the top. Okay. So begin the algorithm. So you all know base case. What is the base case for this algorithm? What is the base case? When does
When
the
n is equal to 1.
equal to 1? Then just move the disk from where to where? From
Source to destination, ma'am.
else. Else what should I do? Else move n minus 1 disk recursively from source to auxiliary using destination. Okay, what is that I write here? The recursive call. How do I write the recursive call here, students? I should again call tower Hanoi function, isn't it? So how will I pass the parameters? Tell me what are the parameters that you pass here? Tower Hanoi, first parameter is what?
N minus 1, ma'am.
Okay, second.
Source, ma'am.
Okay, third.
Auxiliary. Oh, no, ma'am.
Which is
Destination.
destination. Yes, and the last one is,
Auxiliary, ma'am.
remember the order which I should pass is, first is whichever is acting my source, next whichever is acting my auxiliary, whichever is acting my destination. This is how it is. Okay, so I should tower of Hanoi, n minus 1 source, destination, and then the auxiliary. That's this call will do me the step 1. What is it? Step 1, you know that. Moving n minus 1 disk recursively from source to the auxiliary using destination. Once step 1 is done, what is my step 2? What is my step 2? Move
N from source to
to
destination.
destination. Move the disk. Okay. From whatever is the disk, there's only one disk, right? Move disk from source to destination. That is my step 2. Okay. What is my step 3? The last step. Again, should I call the function?
Yes, ma'am. Function.
Yes. Tower of Hanoi. Again, first parameter is what?
N minus 1.
Minus 1, comma. Second one. Where are all the disks present?
Auxiliary.
Auxiliary. Which is now acting as the destination. Sorry, which is now acting as the auxiliary peg, temporary peg.
Source, ma'am.
Source. Then placing it back to where? What is my last parameter? Destination. Yes. So Tower of Hanoi. Okay, Tower is missed here. So Tower of Hanoi algorithm now. I'll have to pass 3 arguments, which you can see here. Disk minus 1. Right? Disk minus 1 on this. N minus 1. Auxiliary, source, comma, destination. So this will be the algorithm. Okay. Now, moving on to the analysis. Before I go for the analysis, what is the operation, the basic operation here? Can you identify the basic operation? Are we doing some multiplication or addition or comparison? What is the basic operation here, students? What is the basic operation? What do you think is the basic operation here? Any idea? What if I do, I will get this result? Students.
Moving disk.
Moving disk. Very good. Moving the disk. See now, the basic operation is not addition, multiplication, comparison. This is a different one. Moving the disk. If I move the disk only, I will get this last result. If I don't move, I'll be here only. The same status. So moving the disk will be now the basic operation for me. Okay. What is the input size, students? What is the input size here? What is the
Number
input
of disks.
number of disks? Okay, you might any confusion between number of disks and number of pegs? Will the input size be number of pegs?
No, ma'am.
Why? Why it is no? Why is it no? Why is it? Why I cannot take number of pegs as my input size?
Ma'am, because number of pegs is constant for all the cases.
Okay, number of pegs is constant, means any problem you take, number of pegs is only 3. But what varies? What varies? What varies? Suppose I give
Number
a
of discs, ma'am.
number of disk varies. Okay, so let me go for the analysis. First step, number of disk obviously is the obvious choice for the input size indicator. It is not number of pegs, remember. Okay. Next, identifying the basic operation. So obviously, movement of disk. Moving one disk is my basic operation, right? Movement of disk. Remember. Now, third one is checking whether the number of times the basic operation execution depends on the input size and also depends on the type of input. Oh, what do you tell? What do you think? Does it depend on the input size or also on the type of input?
Only on the input size.
Size. What is the type of input here, students? What can be the type of input? Okay, type of input. Any idea? The shape of the disk. Suppose say I keep rectangular disk on my peg. Will the moments change? Number of moments change? Or it is 7 only? If I keep rectangular disk. Students.
It is 7 only.
7. If I keep circular disk, is there any?
Same.
It is 7. Or if I keep a triangular disk, will it change or it is 7 only? It is 7 or it will change?
It doesn't change.
Doesn't change. Whatever shape of the disk you keep, that is your type of input here. Whatever you keep, whether it is oval, circle, whatever it is, for 3 disks, movements are 7. But when the disk number changes, suppose I give 4 disks, then movements will increase. Suppose I give 100 disks, movements will increase. Isn't it so? So, you can observe here that the M of n, that is I have taken M of n considering the number of moves made for n disk, depends only on the n. What is that n? That is my input size. What is that input size for me? Number of disks. It depends only on the number of disks. Okay. Now, the next step is setting up the recurrence equation or the relation for M of n. So what is M of n indicating, students? What is M of n indicating? M of n means what? Number of moves made for n disk from moving from source to destination. Okay. Can anybody guess the recurrence relation for M of n? Any idea? What is my first step? Moving
N minus 1, ma'am.
one disk recursively from wherever it is. Let's not bother. So I should find out the number of moves made in step 1 plus what is step 2?
1, ma'am. 1 move.
One move from source to destination plus what is next? Step 3.
Number of moves of
Made
n minus 1.
n minus 1. Now, tell me what is the recurrence relation? What is the recurrence relation now? M of n equals to? Guess. Let's not expect for a right
M
answer.
of n minus 1 plus 1 plus m of n minus 1.
Okay, very good. What is it m of n minus 1? Can I have the answer? What is it first m of n minus 1?
N minus.
What is m of n minus 1, Rakshita? First m of n minus 1.
Number of moves made to move the n minus 1 disks from source to source to auxiliary peg.
Using destination. Very
Using
good. Destination. Yes. Okay. So let me continue for the same. So the m of n here is now m of n minus 1 plus 1 plus m of n minus 1 for, very important, for n becoming greater than 1. What is this m of n minus 1? This m of n minus 1 will count the number of moves made for transferring the disk from
source to auxiliary.
yes, source to auxiliary using destination. I think you can see this number of moves made to transfer n minus 1 disk from source to auxiliary using destination. Next, plus 1. I wrote 1 because I make only one move. One move for transferring what? For transferring what? The nth disk from source to destination. Plus again, I write m of n minus 1. What is that m of n minus 1 again? It is again number of moves made to transfer n minus 1 disk from auxiliary to destination using source. Okay? This is the recurrence relation which is being said for the condition n greater than 1. And you all know that I should also set the initial condition. Can anybody guess the initial condition, students? Can I have the initial condition from you all for this?
M of 1 is equal to 1.
1. Okay. Okay. Tejas,
Yes, ma'am.
what is that initial condition for this recurrence relation?
M of 1 equals to.
What is that m of 1 equals to 1? Can you justify?
If you have one disk, you can move one source to destination, ma'am.
You can do one move if you have only one disk. Very good. So we have the recurrence relation set in this way. Now m of n minus 1 plus 1 m of n minus 1, where I can write this. The initial condition is m of 1 equals to 1 for n equals to 1. Very good, right? So this is how you have to tell, right? Now can I write this m of n as 2 times of mn minus 1 plus 1? Can I write this? Yes or no? Do you agree
Yes.
with? Yes. And you can know that if you observe when I wrote that number of moves, this is 3, this is 1 plus 3. That is step 1 and step 3 will have same number of moves. That's why it is m of n minus 1, m of same terms. Okay. 2mn minus 1 plus 1, m of 1 equals to 1. Yes. Are you all getting? Is that clear, students? Setting up of recurrence relation? Yes or no? Answer. Okay. Moving on to the analysis portion, that is last step of this problem. I have to now solve the recurrence relation using backward substitution method. Okay. Considering this, tell me, what should I do next? What should I do next with this? Substitute the value for students quickly.
N, ma'am.
Substitute the value for backward substitution method. What should I do? I should substitute.
N minus 1 in place of n.
Okay, I should substitute here n minus 1 in place of n. That is, I should find the value for m of n minus 1. So what is m of n minus 1, students? I can write m of n minus 1 as what now? What is m of n minus 1 now? Students, speak
M
up.
of n 2 plus 1.
M of?
N minus 2 plus 1.
Okay. Why did you skip this 2? 2 is there, no, as a constant. If you replace n with n minus 1, what will happen? What will I get? M of n minus 1 equals to 2 times. 2 is already there. 2 of n minus 2 plus 1. You should be very careful with the equation. Yes or no? Yes, do you all agree with that? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So substitute m of n minus 1 as 2 times of m of n minus 2 plus 1 in the above equation. Now, what will be my above equation when I substitute m of n minus 1? What will be my above equation? M of n equals to, if I substitute this there, what will be my above equation now? Students, if I substitute this here, the whole thing, what is my above equation?
Ma'am, we'll get 4 into m of n minus 2 plus 3.
Okay, so that's, you tried to,
Solve it.
yes. So what you have to do is, basically when you are solving the recurrence relation, you have to avoid simplifying till you generalize. Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll just write like this: m of n equals to 2 into 2, m of n minus 2 plus 1 plus 1. So what I'll just do is, I'll just keep it like this. M of n is equal to, instead of writing 4, I just kept 2 to the power 2. 2 to the power 2. Okay, so like such problems, try to maintain it in this way. Okay, 2 to the power 2 into m of n minus 2 plus 2, I just wrote it as 2 to the power 1 plus 1, I just wrote it as 2 to the power 0. Are you understanding? You might question me, ma'am, how do I know this? It's only through practice. As you solve the problems, you will get to know, right? Do not simplify. Just keep it as it is. Let's see how can we simplify further later. Okay, next, what should I substitute for? Substitute for?
M of n minus 2.
What is m of n minus 2? What is m of n minus 2?
2 into m of n minus 3
Minus
plus
3 plus 1. Okay. I'll again substitute back in the above equation. Here, this one will be substituted. So what do I get? What do I get? M of n is equal to? What do I get? M of n equals to? What do I get, students? I'll substitute here. I just substituted here. What do I get now? What's the next answer? Next step.
2 to the power of 3 into m
M
of
of
n
n minus 3 plus 2 to the power 2
2
plus
and then
2 power 0. Okay. I think now you have the ability to justify or to generalize, I can see, right? If you want, you can go for one more level, not a problem. If you go for substitution of m of n minus 3, you will get what, ma? 2 to the power
4, ma'am.
4. And here one more term will be added, 2 to the power
The power 3, ma'am.
3. Okay, I think this is sufficient for me to generalize. So I'll stop at this point of time. Okay, so I am here. I am now trying to generalize. Generalize the above formula for some pattern, for some value, sorry, I. Okay, can anybody generalize and tell me? Can anybody generalize this for the value of I? M of n is equal to? Speak out. It's okay. If it is wrong, also no problem. You are doing this for the first time, not for the several times, isn't it? What is, can I generalize? Okay, generalize this and tell me at least for I.
2 to the power of I into m of n minus I.
Side. Okay, that's right. Now, when this was 3, you could see that we had a summation from 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2. Right. Now, if this is I, if this was 3, it was like this. If this is I, what summations you will have? 2 power 0 to?
2 power I, ma'am. 2
Power
power
I?
Minus
2
1.
power? I
I minus
minus 1. Yes, very good. Okay. So, You can see now 2 power I into m of n minus I plus, I wrote it like this. I don't know, in between terms, I will have many. So it starts with 2 power 0. Keep on adding till 2 power I minus 1. See, students, there are several ways to solve this. I am giving you the simpler one. Simpler one. You might tell, ma'am, I will solve like this. Yes, you can solve, but that becomes a bit complicated. Try to do it in a simpler way to get marks. That's our motto, right? Now, simplification is ready. What should I do now? I should find the value of I so that my m of n will be always in terms of n only. Okay, how do I find the value of I? What should I use here? What should I use?
Initial condition.
What is my initial condition?
M of 1 is 1.
1. So I should equate what with what now?
N minus I with 1.
1. Whatever is in the parenthesis. Remember, students, whatever is in the parenthesis should not equate to this. You will go wrong. So we equate n minus I equals to n1, sorry, where I get the value of I as what, ma? N minus 1. Right? What should I do next now? What should I do next? After getting the value of I, what should I do?
Substitute now.
Substitute. Yes. I will just substitute here. You have to write a statement here. Substitute in the above equation. M of n is equal to 2 to the power n minus 1 into m of n minus 1 in parenthesis plus 2 to the power I minus 1 is there. So I should write 2 to the power n minus 1 minus 1 goes on to 2 power 0. Okay. So simplifying this, you can see 2 power n minus 1 into m n minus n plus 1. So this n and n will be cancelled. And you can see this will be simplified as what? N minus 2. It is n minus 2 here. Yes. Now, what is m of 1, students? As you all know, what is m of 1? What is m of 1?
1.
Okay. So the final equation, this is 1 for me. It will be what? M of n equals to 2 power n minus 1 plus 2 power n minus 2 goes on till 2 power 0. Again, I don't want such expression. I cannot give this as my answer. I want a value to which it is a definite value. See, you have infinite terms here, right? So I should have a definite value. So I have to solve this again. Okay. And again, I'll have to solve this. Okay. Looking at this series, could anybody recall what kind of a series is this in your mathematics? Write it in the ulta way if you want. 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2 till 2 power n minus 1.
Sum of series 1.
Which series?
GP series.
Yes. Geometric progression. Yes. Okay. So we can observe that this is a geometric progression. Yes. With a certain entities. I think you know better than me. What is the geometric progression entity, students? What are the entities of a geometric progression? What all will be there in the geometric progression? Yes. We have something called as common ratio. What is the common ratio between these numbers? What is the common ratio? Common ratio, students. I hope you know this. What is the common ratio? Common ratio is 2. How do I get the common ratio? How do I get the common ratio? See, if you write it in the reversed way, 2 power 0, 2 power 1, second term divided by first term, what do I get? This is my first term. This is my second term. Second term divided by the first term. 2 power 1 divided by 2 power 0. What do I get, students? Common ratio between them. 2. Similarly, 2 power 2 divided by 2 power 1. Common ratio 4 by 2 is 2. Okay. What is the first term here? What is the
2 power 0, ma'am.
power 0? See, actually you could add one more statement here. If you find it difficult, you just put it in the reversed way. That's all. You find this is a difficult one for you to understand. M of n equals to 2 power 0 s 2 power 1 plus 2 power 2 s goes on. You find that difficult, you can have it like this. No problem. And the last terms will be, what are your last terms here? This is n minus 2 and this is n minus 1. Okay, if you find it difficult, you can have this as your equation. Just in the reverse way I have written, right? Right. Now what is the formula and what is the number of terms here, students? That is also required. How many terms are there? How many terms are there?
N, ma'am.
N. You can observe 2 power 0 is first term. Then 2 power 1 to n minus 1. So I have how many terms here? How many terms? How many terms here? N minus 1 terms plus the first one is another term there. Okay. So we have totally n terms here. Okay. Now I think to find the sum of such geometric series, there's a common formula. What is a common formula? You remember, you tell, otherwise no problem. What is a common formula for finding such sum of geometric series where r is greater than 1? There are two formulas, r less than 1, r greater than 1. What is the formula for r greater than 1? Students, quickly. I have a class at 12:30.
A power n by r minus 1.
Okay, I think a, the formula goes like this. Sum is equal to a into r to the power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. If you have forgotten, no issues, just look into it. Okay. Now let us apply that to me here. What is a for me? 1. What is r? 2. What is n? The number of terms is n minus 1 divided by 2 minus 1. Can you observe that? Divided by what, ma? 2 minus 1. Yes? Students, can you observe that? Divided by 2 minus 1. So what is my answer here? Finally, what is m of n? M of n. Students, quickly. After
2 power n minus 1, ma'am.
1 to power n minus 1. This tells you that the number of moves required to move n disc is 2 power n minus 1. Okay. Assuming n is 3, what will I get? If n is 3, what is the value of this? 2 power n minus 1. 2 power 3 is how much?
8, ma'am.
8 minus 1 is how much?
7.
7. Did we get 7 moves in the previous example what we had seen for n equals to 3? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Hence, I can tell that m of n now belongs to which class it belongs to? Looking at this equation, does it belong to linear, quadratic, logarithmic, linear rhythmic, anything like that? Or it belongs to specific one? Any other one? Which order of growth? Which is the order of growth?
Exponential.
Exponential. It belongs to theta of 2 power n. Minus 1 is there, that is there. But anyways, 2 power n minus 1 will not give you lesser value. It is same as equivalent to 2 power n. So belongs to the class of 2 power n, which is means that Tower of Hanoi is having exponential order of growth. Okay. If it is having exponential order of growth, is its efficiency is high or low?
Low, ma'am.
Because I need more time to compute the solution to the problem. You're understanding? So it takes more time. I think with this, the analysis of Tower of Hanoi is done. Most of the time in the exam, they do ask this. You should be perfect in solving the same. Okay. Followed with that, we have assignment which I had shown you earlier. Try solving is in this recurrence relation, which is same as Tower of Hanoi analysis. Which recurrence relation? Which recurrence relation?
Third one, ma'am.
Third one. You can see it is the same. Instead of m, we have x. Try solving it. You can solve it, but be careful. Do not merge everything. So be careful till you generalize. How you can generalize? One or two problems if you solve, you will know better. Okay. Thank you, students. We are ending the session here. Any doubts with respect to it? You can ask me.
Ma'am, in the last step, we can write m of n belongs to theta of 2 power n minus 1, or should we write only 2 power n?
No. It's only 2 power n, Rakshita. Is because this is order of growth.
Ah, yes, ma'am.
So this is one of the class, right? It is one of the class. See, it's something like if you get 75, you are distinction. Which class you belong to? Which class you have got distinction? 80% also you belong to which class? You're getting
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
right. Same ways, it is 2 power n minus 1. The class that belongs to is 2 power n. Suppose if you have 2 power n plus 1 also, it is 2 power n only. That is the class, specific class which is universally given. Understood? Hope I am there with you. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Got it. Okay. Any doubts? You can ask me. No doubts? Okay. Fine. Okay, one or two queries I myself will post for you. What is the recurrence relation for Tower of Hanoi? Can anybody tell the recurrence relation?
2 into m of n minus 1 plus 1.
Okay, fine. Then you can practice it. This is one of the question for your internal. Sure, for sure. So anything in the internal or in the exam, it has been asked. First, give the problem statement, algorithm, and its analysis. Most of the time, what happens is you people will tell, I wrote full, but you would have not written problem statement or you would have missed algorithm. Analysis, I have seen many people doing the analysis. Very simple. I'm just giving you an example. Write this, write till these steps are all. I know at the end the answer will be this, but who will all do these steps? These steps have marks, isn't it? Right? You all know the answer is there, right? So writing that will not fetch you full marks. That's what I mean to say. Yes, ma'am. We can end. Thank you, students. See you in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bande.